Good morning, students. Molweni.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, is this CSC111F?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, ndinike ilink erongo apha. But ke masisebenzisane le link. Yabona. Let us wait for about 5 minutes so that we allow other students to join so that we can begin. Just for 5 minutes. Good morning once again, students. Welcome to CSC 111F practicals. This is our first practical. My name is Mr. Mcedani. I'm in charge of the CSC 111F practicals. So I'm sure that most of you, they know me by now. I will switch off the video now. So let's begin. Let me. Makazi, wenzeka ntoni ku? Makazi. Makazi. Okay, so as I have said to other students that CSC111F is divided into two. It is divided into theory and practicals. Okay, excuse me, just a minute. Just 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. There were people who were disturbing me outside my office. So as I was saying that CSC111F is divided into theory and practicals. So Mr. Mbombela is in charge of the theory side and I'm in charge of the practical side. So as I have said that in order for you to be able to do the practical successfully, you need to have a practical manual. It is compulsory that you must have a practical manual. So usually we print the manual for 50 Rand, so students have to come and register their name so that we can be able to print the manual for them. So I'm sure that is clear. Are there any questions regarding the practical manuals? So if there are no questions, let's move on. So in order to conduct the practicals, there are learning platforms that we use to assist us in delivering the practical sessions. For example, we use Microsoft Teams. As I can see that you already know about Microsoft Teams. So we use Microsoft Teams. I use Microsoft Teams for practical demonstration. Before you do the practical, I demonstrate what is supposed to be done. So for that, we use Microsoft Teams, but we are not only using Microsoft Teams. Sometimes we won't have any Microsoft Teams sessions, but we'll use a platform called LBBS Learn. LBBS Learn, it is just a website. Let me try and project it. This is LBBS Learn. You just go to your browser and you type LBBS Learn. I'm sure that you are noting this down. .co.za. So this is another platform that we use, lbbslearn.co.za. Sometimes we won't have, as I have said, that we won't have Microsoft Teams sessions. You will need to just go straight to LBBS Learn and then go to courses and look for the course that and look for the practical under courses, the one that we are going to be busy with. For example, this is today's practical, computer assembly practical number 1. So it's also on LBBS Learn. So the way LBBS Learn works, there are videos there that will show you what you need to do. So it is just straightforward. You'll see it next week. We won't use it fully today. We'll use just part of it today. And then from next week onwards, we'll be using LBBS Lens. Do you have any questions? Okay. So far,
sorry, sir.
Yeah.
How does this LPBT whatsoever work?
Okay. No, don't stress about it. I will show you. I will show you as I'm demonstrating before we begin with practical 1.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Do we have another question, or should I move on? Okay. So we also have a YouTube channel that is used for CSC111F, CSC1113, 113F, CSC123, and ICC121. So we share this YouTube channel. We share that YouTube channel. So that is where we post concepts that are sometimes difficult for students to understand. But all this information that I'm sharing with you right now, all this information that I'm sharing with you right now is on the practical manual. So when you get your practical manuals, you'll see this information. We also have WhatsApp group that we use for communication. Sometimes we also post the marks on WhatsApp, so that if there are any problems with the marks, the student marks, you can be able to communicate with us so that the marks can be fixed. So those are the 4 learning platforms that we use for CSC 111F practicals. So let us begin. Let's go to today's practical. I'm not sure what is happening with my computer today. So today's practical is divided into 4 parts. It is divided into 4 parts. The first part is about PC assembly, which means the computer assembly, whereby we are going to build our own computers. So from the document I gave you for practical 1 is from page 4 to page 14. So that is part 1 of the practical. So basically what we are going to do here on this part, if you were here in lab with me, you were going to get your own computer with all the parts that are, with all the hardware components that are listed here, with all the computer components that are listed here, and you were expected to build your own computer according to the instructions that are given on this practical. So that is part A of this practical. So the second part is about peripheral devices, which means the devices that are connected on your computer, like your monitor, like your keyboard. So we just discussed them. There's nothing much that we are going to say about this part. It's also on page number 14. And then part C, also from page 14. I mean, okay, part C, which is on page 14 to page 18, we are going to discuss these ports that we use to connect our peripheral devices. So you have to understand these ports. And lastly, after we have finished assembling your computer, you have to install the operating system so that your computer can work. So that is basically the practical for today. So because you are not here with me, so it's a practical that we are going to do theoretically. I know it doesn't make sense, but because of COVID, we have to stick to the rules. So when you are building your computer, now we are beginning with the practical. So I believe that you'll take some notes from time to time because there are questions that are related to most of the things that I'm going to say. So the first part the first thing you should do when you are going to build your computer, it is to collect the required hardware. So that is step number one of PC assembling. So you have to collect the required hardware. So on page number 4 to from page number 4 onwards is the list of the required hardware. So this one is a processor. A processor is also called a CPU. I'm sure that Mr. Mbombela has explained what is a CPU. If you see on figure 2.1, this is a processor for a desktop. I'm sure you all know what is a desktop. So that is the processor for a desktop. And then on your right, figure 2.2, that is the processor for your laptop. I'm not sure if it is clear, but you have Google, you can Google these things. And then this one is called a computer case. Most people, they call this a CPU, but this is not a CPU. This is a computer case, or it is, you can call it a tower. It depends on you. So number 3 on figure 2.4, this is the optical drive. Usually it is a CD-ROM or a DVD-ROM or a DVD writer. This is one of the drives that we use on the computer. For example, another drive that most of you know is a hard drive. Let me see if we have a hard drive. Hard drive is figure 2.13. These are the hard drives. So this is another type of drive. So we move to number 4. Number 4 is a memory, which is also called a RAM or a random access memory. So on this side, this is the RAM for a desktop. On this side, this is the RAM for a laptop. They are basically one thing, but the only difference is the size. The RAM for laptop is much smaller, physically smaller, compared to the RAM on this side. But in capacity or its properties can be the same, even though the physical size is not different. So a RAM is called a memory, or you can simply call it a RAM. You also need a power supply in order to have or to supply power to your computer. There are also various cables that we need. For example, here we have 2 cables. This is the Sata cable, this one, the small one. It can be red, it can be blue, it can be yellow, it does not matter. So this one is used to connect your hard drive, those small hard drives, but these days even the big hard drives. So this one, it is used to connect the hard drive on the other end, and then to the motherboard. And this one is for power. It provides the power to your hard drive. Then on number 7, these are 2 different motherboards. This one is for a desktop, and this one is for a laptop. So a motherboard is a hardware device that is used to connect all the other components of the computer. So I won't go deeper into that because it is part of the theory. Mr. Mbombela should have already explained that to you. So also move on. We also have a CPU fan. This is the fan that is used for CPU. A CPU is a processor. This is our CPU. So on top of the CPU, because a CPU is, they usually call it the brain of the computer. So it works over time to compute every instruction that has been given to the computer. Just a minute. Linamandla, do you want to say something? Linamandla. So there are no questions.
There's something wrong with your mic. You keep on stuttering.
My mic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're also experiencing that problem. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's fine now, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I suggest if a student have a question, just unmute your mic and ask the question, because while I am presenting this, I'm not able to see who's raising the hand. Do you understand? So if you have a question, just unmute your mic and interrupt me and ask the question. So I was saying this is a CPU fan because the processor generates a lot of heat, so it needs a fan to cool it down. So there are two things that are used to cool down the heat from CPU. I'm sure that you are noting this. It is the CPU fan, number one, and the second one, it is a gel called a heat sink. So you put a gel on top of your processor, the heat sink, and then you put your CPU fan so that the CPU cannot overheat. So this is the CPU fan. It is different to the fan that is used for case. So you can see the CPU fan is much bigger and it has these panels for that will counteract with the heat. So this one, it takes the heat out of the computer. So as this one is blowing the computer, this one is taking the heat out of the computer. But for a laptop, generally laptop has one fan that do everything. So, but we'll focus on the desktop. So these are the hard drives. I'm sure you understood everything that I've said. So you will need tools, obviously. So we won't discuss this. You will need tools. There are no questions related to tools. So let's go to step number 3. Step number 3, you open the case. This is the case. You open the side panels. And then I'll just browse here because I will give you a video to watch. So you just browse. And these are the pre-installed cables. And then this is how these pictures starting from figure 2.20 to 2.30. This is how you attach the hardware to your case and your motherboard. So for example here, This guy is attaching the motherboard to the case, to the computer case. These two pictures. I'm not sure if they are clear. And here he's attaching the adapters. There are things that we called adapters, like graphic cards. So he's attaching the adapters, and here he's connecting the power supply, and here he's connecting drives. For example, a hard drive. There are two types of hard drives. The ones the other ones, they are using this type of cable, and also the CD-ROM or DVD-ROM. It also uses this type of cable to attach to the motherboard. But I'll show you the video. And then here on page number 10, this is how you install the hard drive. You can see that this hard drive uses a different cable compared to this cable. So this cable, the red one, is for SATA. That means it's for data, and this one is for power on the side. And then you install your optical drive. The process is the same as installing the hard drive. And then installing your CPU. This is your CPU, which means this is your processor. So this is the slot for the processor. Yeah.
Are we going to be able to build the PC?
Sorry?
Are we going to be able to build a PC, or are we going to learn about building it?
There's a practical test, not next week, the week after next week. I will see if the university will allow you to come to the lab and do this practically. So the practical test, you'll be required to build the PC, unless the university does not agree for you to come to the lab. So whatever that I'm telling you right now, you're supposed to come and do it in lab. You understand, ne? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how you attach your CPU to the motherboard. This is the slot for motherboard. You just open this socket, and then you attach your CPU to the motherboard. And then this is the heat sink. This is how you apply the heat sink on top of the motherboard. Then when you're done, you attach your fan, your CPU fan. And then this is how you install your RAM. You can see that this motherboard has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 slots for RAM. So you can attach you can install four RAMs here on this motherboard. But other motherboards, they usually have 2. So it depends on which motherboard you have. So you also install this fan. And then you can go through the remaining steps by yourself. And then when you are done, we are done with part number 1. So after you have done assembling your PC, that does not mean that your PC will work. But before we go into that, let us quickly watch a video that I found on YouTube. Are there any questions before we go to the video? Are you able to see this video, ne? Yes or no? Okay. And this is your power supply. I'll also give you the link to the video. This is your RAM. So this RAM is 2 gig. So the size of this RAM is 2 gig, as you can see on the label here. This is the cable that we talked about. This one is for data. These are the screws. And then this is your motherboard. You can see that this is the CPU fan. Sorry if the video is not clear. This is your fan, and then these are your ports on the back of your motherboard. On this side, these yellow slots are for the RAM. So you insert the RAM here on this side. This one is not for RAM, but is for the adapter cards that we talked about earlier on. And this one, this is where you attach the power supply. We won't discuss other components because they are not important for this practical. This is your optical drive. This can be a CD drive, a CD-ROM or a DVD-ROM. This is the DVD drive, as you can see the caption. This is your hard drive. You can see that it is 500 gig. This is the size of your hard drive. Hard drive is usually called a storage in computer terms. And this is your case. When you buy it, it is usually like this. It is empty, and then you have to install your motherboard, as I have said. You know YouTube and the ads. So he is going to install the RAM. So it is better to install the RAM before you attach the motherboard into your casing. But others, they prefer to attach the motherboard first to the casing, but it does not matter. There is no correct procedure to do it. This cable is for hard drive. So this is how you attach your power supply to your case. So he's attaching the motherboard to the case. He's installing the hard drive to the case. So you can watch the full video. I have included the link on LBBS Learn platform. I will show you how to access LBBS platform shortly. So there are no questions for now.
Sorry, sir. Please repeat what you just said because I didn't hear you clearly.
Which part now? Starting from where?
Starting from not attached. Ndigqibela ukuva ngoku sithi uba ayinangxaki into yokuinstola i-motherboard i-RAM to i-motherboard before i-casing okanye after i-casing. I-video yakho ibikhika, so I couldn't hear you.
Okay, so I was saying there is no correct procedure. You can attach everything on the motherboard before you attach the motherboard on the casing. But some people, they prefer to attach the motherboard first on the casing and then install other devices when the motherboard is already on the case. So that is what I was saying. So it depends on you. Okay, so let's move on. So now you have a fully assembled case, computer case. So these are the peripheral devices that are connected on your assembled computer. So the input device, let's discuss the input and output devices. So this is the keyboard. We all know a keyboard, so you have to know the ports for the keyboard, the mouse, the microphone. So we won't worry about the scanner and other devices. So these are the input devices. These are the output devices. So this is your monitor, and this is your screen. Usually we call this a monitor. We call this a screen. I don't know why, but this one we call it a screen because the cable. How can I explain this? On the other hand, on the other end of this screen, there's a green or a blue, not a green, a blue cable. I'm struggling to explain this. Let me come here. So for a screen in the monitor has one function to display what is on the computer. So to connect the screen and the monitor to your computer, you should have this cable, which is the VGA cable. So usually for screens, the other hand is like this, but the other end, it is straight directly connected to your screen. But for the monitor, the cable is usually, let me Google this. I don't know how to explain it so that you understand it very clear. But let me just see if I can find an image that will explain, that will show what I'm trying to explain. Okay, just a minute, I'm still searching. Okay, now let's move on. I cannot find what I'm trying to show you. So let's move on. Don't worry much about it. But what I was trying to say that for a monitor, it has a cable like this on both ends, this end and this end. This one connected on the computer casing and this one connected on the monitor. But for a screen, usually it has this end only. On this side, it does not have this head. So this one is connected straightly to the screen. So that is how we usually see the difference between the monitor and the screen. Maybe it is clear right now. So this is the screen. If there's a question concerning this is the screen, this is the monitor, this is the printer, and also this one is a printer. This one is also a printer. So in order for you to connect your keyboard, to connect your devices, all your devices, your peripheral devices to your keyboard, I mean to your motherboard or your computer, simply your computer, there are different types of ports that are used. For example, the ports that we are going to discuss for this practical is this one, the PS2 port. This port is for keyboard and mouse. Before there was USB, we usually used these types of ports. The port for keyboard is usually purple, and then this one is for mouse. So the PS2 is for keyboard and mouse, but depending on the picture, I mean on the color. And this one is for SATA. If you remember, SATA is a cable that we use to connect the hard drive. Let me go back. This one is SATA. This one is SATA.
Excuse me.
Are you saying something? Okay, I was saying this one is SATA. And that one is eSATA. They are similar. But this one also connects the hard drive, the external hard drive. We won't discuss about these ones. I also do not know about these ones. I've never seen a device that uses these ones. We all know these ones are for, they are for audio. This one is for headphones, the speakers, and so on. This one is for the microphone. This one is line in. For example, if you want to watch TV on your desktop, you have to buy what we called a TV tuner card. So usually a TV tuner card, the ports for TV tuner cards will be on this side. So in order for you to hear the sound from the TV tuner card in your computer, so you have to connect through line. So line in will connect, it's like an aux cable. So you'll connect the line in and then line out on this side. But don't worry about that, as long as you know that one is for headphones, this one for microphones. Anyway, I'm sure that you already know about those ones. We won't discuss about these ones, even though I'm sure that you know. And also the S video is common, but I don't know any device that uses the S video. And then this one and this one, they are for graphics. For example, if you like to play games or you have a software that uses a lot of graphics, so you usually connect these ones. You connect you connect the display using these ones, the DVI-D and DVI video. For example, in the olden days, there was a software that was called CorelDRAW. Anyway, it is still available. It is similar to Photoshop, but because the computers at that time, they could not manage to display what you were doing on CorelDRAW. So you have to buy a graphic card and then have a separate display so that you can be able to see what you were doing. So that is the purpose of the adapter cards. And this one is for VGA, usually to connect the screen or the monitor or the projector. And this one is HDMI. So this is the graphic card.
Excuse
You
me,
can
sir.
see. Yebo.
Abantu kula group WhatsApp bayakhala bathi i-link azisebenzi.
Eziphi link?
Leyo ngena apha kule meeting eklasini.
I don't know. Do they have the right link?
Basebenzisa ezi zilapha kule group.
Okay. Tell them to compile a list for me and then send me their names. I'll see what I can do. But let us just finish.
Okay.
Yeah. So this table on page 17 explains what I was saying to you. You can see here, this is the name of the device. This header is for the name of the device, the color, and the port. So for example, you know that a keyboard, if you want the port for keyboard, you can connect the keyboard via a PS2 connector or via USB connector. Usually the color for keyboard is purple, so this one is for keyboard and this one is for mouse. You can also connect it via USB. So I'm sure that you understand what how this table works. Monitor, this is the board head. The color is usually blue or navy. This is HDMI. This is the audio jacks. This is USB. If it is black, if USB is black, it is for USB 2.0. If it is this color, which is blue or navy, it is USB 3.0. You can look at your computer and see if it supports USB 3.0. If you look inside the board, you will see that it is black or navy. And then step number 4, when you come to the lab, you'll be required to switch on the computer. But most students, they always make a mistake when they switch on the desktop computer. They switch it here. But in order for you to switch the computer, you have to switch it here, because this is basically your computer. This one is not the computer, but this one is your computer. So you switch it here. This one only switches on the screen or the monitor. So if you switch on your computer at this stage, it will show you a message similar to this one that says no bootable device or hard drive not found or something like that. So there will be a message like this that will tell you that there is no operating system on this computer. So you can assemble your computer and do everything, but still it won't work until you have installed the operating system. So I'm sure that you know what is an operating system. Basically, in a simple text, operating system is a software that manages other softwares. It's like the president of the softwares. So you cannot install any other software in your computer unless you have the operating system. So it will tell how the computer must work and all those things. So how do you install operating system? So when you switch on your computer, just the first few seconds, maybe the first 3 seconds before switching on the computer, you have to give an instruction to your computer that says it must enter into a BIOS interface. So you must give the computer an instruction that says it must enter a BIOS interface. So you will read about that on page. Let me take a look on page 21. So in order for you to enter your BIOS, it is on step 4. When you switch on your computer, just before the first 3 or even 2 seconds, you have to quickly press escape or F2 or F8 or F10, F11, F12 or delete from your keyboard so that it will enter into your BIOS. So a BIOS is something similar to this one. There are different versions of the BIOS. So this is BIOS from another version, another version, and so on. So the computer that you are using can have a different BIOS version than this one. So this is where you tell the computer to look for an operating system. Usually when you buy an operating system, you'll put it on a CD or a DVD or USB. So the BIOS will, on the BIOS, you will select where is the operating system, so that when the computer now switches on, it will look for the operating system setup file on the device you have specified. Usually we use what we call a boot menu. So this is the boot menu. This is where you select the source of the operating system. If you use USB, you'll select option number 1, which is removable devices, and so on. So I won't talk much about the operating system. You can read this on page 19. Usually we are going to work with a Windows operating system. You can use Windows 10, Windows 7, but preferably we prefer Windows 10. So if your computer has Windows 10, that means it is fine. So we have other operating systems like Ubuntu. This is the latest version of Ubuntu, Ubuntu 20, which is Linux based. We also have Linux Mint. This is the latest version of Linux Mint. So these ones are the operating system for your mobile devices. This one is the latest version of Android. This one is the latest version of iOS. And this one is for Xbox. This one is for PlayStation, and so on. So every computer must have an operating system. So that is why our phones have an operating system, because they are also computers. So there's also a way, if you want to install an operating system in your phone, you use to enter into the phone BIOS. But now we are concentrating on the computer, on the desktop. So after you have selected the source of your operating system, you'll just follow the screens that will appear. So this one is a screenshot of how you install operating system, specifically Kali operating system. So after you've done the operating system, that is when you can be able to use your computer. So on my side, that is all from me. Do we have any questions? You do not have any questions, ne? Okay, that's good. Now now let me show you how to access the questions and so on. First of all, after I'm done with this video, I'm going to post it on YouTube. The recording of this class or demonstration, I'm going to post it on YouTube. You can access it anytime you want on YouTube. I will give you the link later today. Do you understand? So now let me show you the platform called yeah.
I'm just disconnected because of the network.
Okay. Bendisithi ne ndigqibile kwelami icala. No. So I have recorded this session. So I'm going to post the video of this session to YouTube. So I'm going to give you the link of this class or this session. Do you understand? So I'm going to send it via WhatsApp later today, maybe in 30 minutes time, so that you can rewatch it and listen the things that maybe you have missed.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, if you remember, we talked about something called the platform called LBBS LAN. So I just want to quickly show you how LBBS LAN works. It's just a 5-minute demonstration. There's nothing much. Just give me about 2 minutes. I want to verify something first. Okay. Now let's move on. So to access LBBS, you go to your web browser. You can even use your phone, it's fine. And then you type lbbslen.co.za. And then you open that website. So this is the website for LBBS LAN. Let me log off. So this is the website for LBBS LAN. So you need to register on this platform. This is the platform that we are going to use for assessing your practicals. So you go to courses. Do you all see courses, ne? You go to courses. I'm going to show you how to register, and please listen carefully. You go to courses, and then you click the course that appears. Yeah.
Sorry, andikwazi access LBBS LAN. Kuvela suggestions zezinye izinto.
Usebenzisa ikhompyutha?
Ndisebenzisa laptop.
Uyakwakhani ke khawusherishe screen esi sakho then ndibone.
Okay, ndizazama. Hello, my kancinci ndisasokolisa network.
Okay. For now, let me continue, ne? Are you listening?
Yes, ndimamela.
Yeah. Let me repeat this step, and then tell me if you're still experiencing some problems. Ne? I'll open another tab here. So to open LBBS, you open your browser, ne? You all understand that part. And then do not search the word LBBS. Just go to the address bar and type the whole address. You can say LBBS. There is no space between LBBS LAN. LBBS is one word, lbbslen.co.za. Because if you just search it, maybe it will give you the search results that are different. So you do not search it, type the address lbbs.co.za, and then you hit enter.
Sorry, mna bendifake ispace between LBBS no-LAN.
So it's fine now, ne?
Are we right?
Okay, very good. Can you hear me now, ne? Okay, after the website has loaded, you go to courses. You can click courses. Just click on courses, and then it will open the courses page. So there might be many courses you'll see if you open this page. So go to the course categories and you click CSC111F. You'll see that there's only one course so far. And then you filter your results. So I want you to listen carefully, guys, so that you won't have some problems here. And then it will show you this course, Computer Assembly Practical 1. So you click on this course. You will see that it is written 300. Ne? The reason that there's there is this.
Bonisa Bakandakandani, where some screen, it domain inactive. Sorry, this site is currently not available.
Which site now? Ulanduka Microsoft Teams.
Lo LPPS LAN. Ingxaki ngoku akuze ndithi right ibiloada.
You Googled it.
Uyakuxelela xa uGoogle.
So funeka ndingene kwephi iweb.
I've shown you that you do not Google it, but you type the whole address. Let me see. You're using Google Chrome. Which web browser you are using?
Ndisebenzisa Google Chrome.
Okay. Let me also use Google Chrome so that I can show you. So this is Google Chrome, as you can see. And then you go to your address bar. Please write this down. Type HTTP. HTTPS.
Then the back colon.
And then colon.
Then the back.
Not commas, colon. Do you see the colons?
Yes, I can see the colons.
Then 2/. Then LAN. Oh, sorry. Not LAN. Sorry. LBBS. Sorry. LBBS.
LAN.co.za.
Iyafana nale. Uyibona apha kum.
Iyafana.
Then off enter, and then what do you see?
Iyangena ke ngoku.
Okay.
Enkosi.
Sure. Okay, where was I? Where was I? I was saying that you will see this course, all the CSC111F practicals will look similar to this one. All the time they will have this price written 300. So this is not the price that you are going to pay. You are going to pay nothing to access this course. But this 300 is done so that other people who are not from Forte, they cannot access this course. So do you understand that part? I'm sure you understand. So in order to access this course or to enroll for this course or this practical, let me not talk about the course, let me talk about the practical. In order for you to access this practical, you click on Add to Cart. You click Add to Cart and you wait. And you enter your details, write your name. This is not your name. Write your name, your correct name. Don't write things similar to Baby Bear or something like that. Write your full name. And then under company, you can write UFH for University of Forte. And then you can write your address. Are you still following me, Tell me if I'm moving too fast. Type your address. Tell me when we are done. Are you with me?
Sir, ngicela ukubuza i-address oyibhalayo le ye-res yakho okanye it's your original address?
Ungabhala nale res yakho neyiphi na, it does not matter. The only thing that is important is your name and your surname and your email address.
Okay, sir, inkosi.
Yeah. When you are done entering your details, do not click. Yeah. I cannot hear you.
Sir,
Yes.
bengiqakele inethiwekhi sengicela ubuza kubhalwa ntoni ngondiva ngathi kuthiwa kho into ebhalwayo.
Undawuni ngokwena ubonile masuba kungalwa njani ku-LBBS LAN?
Sorry, sir?
Ubonile uba kungalwa njani ku-LBBS LAN?
No, sir.
Okay. No, let me finish this. I'll explain again after I'm done.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Ngicela ukubuza ukuthi i-email address ubhala le yakho like le yakho kanye ubhala le yalapha esikoleni.
Yeah,
Le yakho yalapha
bhala le ukwazi u-access. If you are able to access the school email, you can write the school email. But if you cannot access the school email, you can use Gmail, as long as you are going to be able to,
okay,
to
sir.
access that email. Who's projecting this? Is it me? So you all see this screen, eh? We are still here. And then when you are done entering your details, you come here. You come here on top. You'll see it will ask you, do you have a coupon? Click here to enter your code. Do you see this part, ne? Can we all see this part?
Yes, siyayibona.
Very good. Then you click here to enter your coupon. And then this will appear. And then you type CSC 2021. I'm sure CSC is in small letters. CSC 2021. And then you apply your coupon. And then your coupon has been applied successfully. And then if your coupon has been applied successfully, and then you scroll down, and then you can see now that the total that you have to pay is 0 rands. And then you can place your order, click place order. And then thank you, your order has been received. This is your order number, the date, the email, and the money that has been paid. And then you scroll up, you can see that there's a top bar here on the top, and then there's an icon for profile. You click on this icon. If you can see this icon, just say so that we can move forward. I'm sure you can all see the icon. Anyway, even if you cannot see it, I'm going to upload this video. You click the icon for profile to go to your profile. And then you can see this is your profile. It will show you the courses that you have enrolled for. That means the computer assembly practical number 1. So the passing grade is 50%. The progress is 0% so far. So you click on the practical 1. You click. And then you can see that we have enrolled for this practical. You click on continue. You can see that this is your practical. This is the video that we have watched. And then you can watch the video if you want. You just click here and watch the video. And then after you are done with watching the video, you click on complete. Do you want to complete the lesson? You click on yes. And then now we are going to start to answer the questions. So make sure that you start when you are ready to answer the questions. We have 6 questions on part number 1, and then the time you have is 5 minutes. So make sure that when you are ready, you can click on start, and then you start. You can see that the timer has started. Then this is the first question, true or false. This is a true or false question. Computer assembly involves collecting required hardware components, attaching them into motherboard, which is inside the computer casing. And then you choose if it is true or false. And then if you skip the question, it won't give you another chance to come back and answer that question. So make sure that you answer the question and then click on next. Do not click complete. I repeat, do not click complete, because if you click complete, you'll get 0. So answer the question and click next. You only click complete when you are done with the questionings. Let me just answer randomly. Question 2, next. Question 3, next. Question 4, next. So this is the last question. Because I've answered the last question, so I can now click on complete. And then when you click on complete, it will give you your mark. It will give you your mark. So you can click on complete. I won't click on complete because you will see the answers. You will see which ones I got right and which ones I got wrong. So you click on complete on your side, but I won't click on complete. I'll just close. So I'm sure that you understand everything now. And then when you are done with all the questions, you'll do this quiz, the first one, the second quiz, the third quiz, and the last quiz, the 4th quiz. So after you're done with all the quiz, you can finish the course. There will be a button that says finish course, and then you finish course, and then you will see your results. So I'm done for today. If you do not have any questions, I will log off. Do you have any questions before I go?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir. Aba bangena computers bazothini? Aba bangena computers mfundisi bazothini?
Who's speaking? Lulama?
Aba bangena computers kubuza bazokwenza njani bona?
On this practical, you can use your phone because there's nothing that you're really going to do on the computer. So you can use the phone to watch the... Can you mute your mic?
Yes.
So if you do not have a computer, you can use your phone and watch over the phone even on LBBS Learn platform, you can even use your phone to answer the questions. But in the meantime, I'll give message to Mr. Mbombela during the class to tell you what to do for those who does not have computers. But for this practical, I think everything is covered.
Sorry, Mfundisi.
Yes.
Bendicela ukubuza after upractical simenzile njengangoku ixesha lokuba uphendule questions mhlawumbi ngakuwe mhlawumbi if ufuna uziphendula later or kunyanzelekile uziphendule ngoku after sigqiba kwenza practical.
As long as you're going to submit the questions before the end of today, you can do them 10 p.m. It's up to you, as long as it is still today.
Okay, Mfundisi, enkosi.
Yeah.
So, sir,
Yeah.
ngicela ukubuza ifoni yami iya-disconnect. Uthi sizozenza zonke ezaa quizzes bani?
Yes, you are going to do all the quizzes. There's
Okay,
nothing
so
much there. I think it's only 20 questions out of 50. Then about the total amount of time that is required, it's about 20 minutes. It's all multiple choice, so there's nothing much. Yeah. Matthew, do you have a question?
Sorry, sir.
Yes, Ovai.
Andikayazi sewuba kungenwa njani kule nto yezi questions or the LPPS thing. Oko bendidisconnectekile.
Okay. I'll send you a video on WhatsApp just for that section on how to access LBBS. I'll send the video in about 30 minutes time from now.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, is this what we're doing with our remaining time?
Yes, that's what you do. But it's up to you. You as long as you are going to submit today. If you have something to do, you can do whatever that you want to do. But as long as you are going to submit today, you can submit even at 9 p.m. It's fine. Are you satisfied?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I was asking, is this what we're doing with the rest of our time today?
Yes, I'm done on my part. And then that's
Oh.
and the remaining time is for you. I'm done on my part.
I understand, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So if there are any other questions, I am leaving the Microsoft Teams session. No other questions? Okay. Yeah, have a great day, guys. So if there are questions that arises while I'm offline, you can send them via WhatsApp. I'm always there to respond to your questions. Thank you for your patience and time. Bye-bye.
thank you, sir. Bye.